history is full of firsts.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Many of those firsts shaped our way of life. For 70 years, KPRC Channel 2 has been proud to be pioneers in shaping television and Houston history.
In a state the size of Texas, everyone can enjoy.
Causing the storms Thursday. Minutes before 9 o'clock, the crew's here telling them.
For the first time in a long, they had a limit. Send us some of your pictures.
Isn't it good to work for a place that has a sense of history? And indeed it is.
See, taking the president from Spring to College Station following.
If you have something you'd like Channel 2 Investigates to check out, call the tip line at 713-223-TIPS or email investigates@click2houston.com. Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Today.
Good morning. Developing this morning, a suspected drunk driver facing felony murder charges after deputies say he crashed into someone head-on, killing them in Northwest Harris County. The number of times deputies say that driver has been arrested for getting behind the wheel while drunk.
Caucus Day is finally here in Iowa. I'm Wendy Woolfolk. The latest from Des Moines coming up.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Where's that, Kansas? Is that Kansas City? It should be, right? Or is that Miami?
They seem to be pretty excited.
Anyway, they celebrated if they were Chiefs fans, and you know, if you were a 49ers fan, well, wait till next year.
No, you didn't
It's kind of cool when the team that beat you wins the Super Bowl. Monday, February 3rd at 4:31. Good morning. I'm Owen Conflenti.
Good morning. I'm Tanaya Wright. Eric is in with a check on the roads. Good morning. It was a pretty hectic weekend for a lot of people.
It was a very hectic weekend for a lot of people around the West Loop. Things are lining out with that when we are getting back to normal. We've got another weekend of that coming up, but we can think about that in 5 days. In the meantime, things are fairly quiet this morning. We'll go over the area roadways here in a couple of minutes.
Too soon to think about the weekend, really?
Never.
Oh, it's never too soon, that's for sure. Weather's very quiet this morning, so a great way to start a Monday. We're going to have a big temperature swing this work week, and that's really the focus of the weather story. Until we get to that, though, enjoy the warm air while we have it. In fact, this morning, we're waking up to 58 degrees. That was pretty much where every afternoon sat temperature-wise last week, so we continue to have this roller coaster happening across town. We have cloudy skies, but nice dry roads. We're at 58 degrees currently at Bush Airport, 47 in Conroe, upper 40s also in Cleveland. It's a little bit cooler up to the north, 60 in Pasadena, and 63 degrees currently in Galveston. And our winds are coming in right off the Gulf of Mexico, about 10-15 miles per hour, and that's going to continue to pull in that warm and humid air. So today is going to be a little muggy, mostly cloudy skies. A few of our wind gusts as we go to the afternoon could reach up to about 20 miles per hour. So it's going to be warm, humid, and breezy, and a few afternoon showers are possible. Nothing too heavy, but it might be a good idea to grab your umbrella because we could see those anytime after 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon, and temperatures will be getting up to 72 degrees. Now, Eric, we're expecting near record-breaking highs this week, followed by a drastic change back to the 50s. I'll take you through that whole forecast coming up.
All right, very good. Thank you very much for that. Time to for traffic now, and things are fairly quiet. We do have one accident closing both directions of Highway 146. This is at FM 1765 down toward Lamarck, the Texas City area. So, yeah, be aware of that for the drive into work. That might cause a few issues out there. Elsewhere, we're looking pretty good. 288 at Airport flowing nicely. We don't have many cars out there on the roadways, so as you might expect, we're moving along at posted speed. Same thing at the Gulf Freeway at Telephone. Not much happening, so you might expect your drive times looking very good this morning. In from Clear Lake, 19 minutes, 10-minute drive in from Pearland, and if you're coming in from Katy, the Katy Freeway, we're looking at a 21-minute commute. Back to you guys.
All right, Eric Bray, thank you. Another preventable tragedy. This morning, a suspected drunk driver is facing felony murder charges after a crash that left a person dead.
This all happened on Bramwell, North Houston in Champion Forest Road, right in northwest Harris County, just before 8 o'clock last night. And that's where we find Channel 2's Vincent Crivelli this morning. So, Vincent, you've learned this driver has been arrested for drunk driving before?
Tanaya, good morning. That's right. Authorities say this is the suspect's 4th DWI. Take a look at this video. Detectives say 57-year-old Jeffrey Davis was drunk driving a brown truck north on Bamel Road. At the same time, Eduardo Tavares was driving a dark green truck on the same road traveling south. Then Davis failed to yield the right-of-way, turned left, and crashed head-on with Tavares. Detectives say Tavares was killed on scene. Meanwhile, Davis, the at-fault driver, was rushed to the hospital. The DA's office says they will look into where Davis bought alcohol.
The most tragic and the scariest thing is individuals like this. This person is a 4th-time DWI. The first DWI people you typically don't see committing this tragic and this horrible of a crime. What we have here is somebody who has been convicted 3 times before of DWI, continues to do it, and this is always the final outcome.
And at last check, Davis was still in surgery at the hospital. And something else I want to show you guys, the deadly accident destroyed some streetlight equipment here. Now the lights don't work, causing a very hazardous situation while authorities try to sort out all this mess. For now, reporting live in North Houston, Vincent Crivelli, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Vincent. New this morning, Houston police are now working to figure out what caused a man to hit a cement barrier and die.
This happened just before 1 in the morning. Aldine Bender at Luth Road. Police say the man was driving across the intersection of Aldine Bender and Spencer Road when he hit that barrier. Police are trying to figure out if he was intoxicated or possibly distracted at the time.
Time right now is 4:35 this morning. Some very sad news to report this morning. A 2-year-old has died just days after he was taken to the hospital with severe injuries. That toddler's uncle, who you see right here, Melvin Morales Gomez, is due in court this morning on charges connected to that child's injuries. Prosecutors say 2-year-old Kevin's brain was swollen, which caused him to lose oxygen. The child also had fractured bones and broken bones. Court documents show that child had been squeezed, even bitten. We are told just months ago he was brought to the U.S. with his uncle and brother from Honduras. Kevin's 8-year-old brother is now in CPS custody.
Well, the impeachment of President Trump is on its last lap. Closing arguments begin today, and then a final vote is scheduled for Wednesday, when the president will likely be acquitted. A vote for acquittal is a near certainty. The Republicans have a majority, of course, in the Senate. Some Democrats might even join them as well.
Well, the first voters in the 2020 presidential election will have their voices heard tonight. The still crowded Democratic field has been crisscrossing the state of Iowa in the anticipation of the first in the nation caucuses. NBC's Wendy Woolfolk is in Des Moines, where the countdown is on.
Here we are, and the decision is going to begin right here in Iowa.
Down to the wire. Now it's time to hear from voters.
We have the privilege in Iowa to be able to meet with candidates one-on-one. We take our politics very seriously in the state.
Serious and unique here in the Hawkeye State because voters have to physically group themselves by candidate in each precinct.
So I'm asking you to caucus for me.
If the candidate doesn't get 15% of the caucus crowd, voters can realign themselves one time.
We came out from New York State just to see how the caucuses work. They are a unique part of history.
Historic, too, when candidates have to leave their final push on the stump to return to the impeachment trial.
I'll be on a plane tonight, back to Washington. Tomorrow I'll be back to Iowa.
Beating President Trump in November is one message they share.
Republicans and Trump don't want me because they know I'm going to beat him if I'm your nominee.
For now, it's caucus goers they must convince.
Each other, and the fact that you're going out with your neighbors, your teachers, your coaches, and actually having conversations about the issues, and I think that's a really good thing for democracy.
Democracy at work, with the first official votes of the 2020 election tonight. Democrats are expecting a record turnout for caucuses here in Iowa tonight. I'm Wendy Woolfolk in Des Moines. Now back to you.
Wendy, thanks. 4:38 here at Channel 2 News Today. The Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl 54 champs.
Got that play down. Obviously now 2nd and 6. Williams makes a cut and will roll into the end zone for the touchdown.
Just a little bit of that comeback victory.
Yeah, there it goes.
They've done, was that 3 in a row or 2 in a row? How many was it? 3 in a row during the playoffs. They came from behind to win it all. And 31-20 was the final in Super Bowl 54. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes threw for 2 touchdowns, rushed for a 3rd. This is the Chiefs' first Super Bowl in 50 years. Coming up later here on the Channel 2 News Today, Randy will have the key highlights from last night's game.
Congrats to them. All right, well, this morning, the Houston area teen whose hair caused the world the controversy could be making some changes to a state law.
The Texas representative wants to make sure what happened to a Barbers Hill teenager won't happen to anyone else. That's coming up, Britta.
And this morning we are waking up to very mild temperatures. Yes, it's cool in the 50s, but that's a far cry from the winter weather that we had last week. Will it be returning? I have that answer coming up. Good morning. Your time is 4:41. We are waking up to dry weather here in town. Few clouds, though, and we have showers that are in our forecast for later today. Our Futurecast model showing you dry conditions for school drop-off. Temperatures around 60 degrees, so the kids might want a light sweater, but that's it. And this afternoon is going to be a warm one. We'll get into the low 70s, mostly cloudy skies. Anytime after 1 p.m., you're running the risk of seeing an isolated shower. You can see that on our Futurecast model. About a 30% chance between 1 p.m. and about 8 p.m. this evening. Those rain chances, they will be going up for Wednesday, as well as a huge temperature drop. We'll take a look at that extended forecast coming up. Tanaya?
All right, thank you, Britta. This morning, the Coast Guard is working to clear and contain a crude oil spill right near Baytown. This happened right along Taps Bay. An estimated 630 gallons spilled out from a wellhead there and has now reached the shore. We are told the source of that spill was initially contained, but it has started leaking once again. The cause of that spill still under investigation.
This morning, the TSA is implementing new travel restrictions to try to stop the coronavirus that is from spreading here in the United States.
Coming up, the Texas airport that will be a screening location for possible coronavirus survivors.
And time saver traffic, FM 1765, FM 1765 at 146. We have both lanes closed, both directions. We will talk about that coming up on Full Traffic in just a few minutes.
We're back here at 4:45 on Channel 2 News Today. A Barbers Hill teenager's battle with his school district over his hair is sparking some change in the Texas House of Representatives. State Rep Ron Reynolds is introducing new legislation, if passed, will prevent school districts from discriminating against any student's natural hair. Now, this all comes after Barbers Hill High School senior DeAndre Arnold was told he can't walk the stage for graduation or return to normal classes unless he cuts his dreadlocks.
Time right now is 4:45 this morning. The woman charged with killing an Austin mother and kidnapping her newborn is set to appear in Travis County Court today. Megan Faramuska has been charged with capital murder now in the death of Heidi Broussard. Heidi and her newborn went missing in December. Heidi's body was found in the trunk of a car outside of Faramuska's home right near Jersey Village. That child was later found inside, safe.
Let's check top stories around the nation now. The United States has 11 confirmed cases of the coronavirus. San Benito County, California officials announced 2 new cases last night. New travel restrictions are in place to contain the virus. Those restrictions ban foreign nationals from entering the United States if they visited China in the last 2 weeks. U.S. citizens also facing restrictions. Those who enter the U.S. after visiting the province where Wuhan City is, where this all started, they will be quarantined for 2 weeks. Anyone flying who's been elsewhere in China within the last 2 weeks will be sent to a certain gateway airport. Dallas has one of them. Love Field, where those flights can land and folks will get checked out. For the first time in 50 years, the Kansas City Chiefs have won the Super Bowl. Here's Randy McIlvoy this morning, breaking down the key plays that helped them come from behind to beat the 49ers.
Welcome into the Xfinity Sports Desk this morning. It is over in Miami last night. What a finish in Super Bowl 54. Chiefs and Niners, they put on a good show in South Florida. A late flurry, though, by Kansas City got the job done. A couple of key plays in this one. 10-3 Chiefs on top late in the first half. Niners driving and finishing. Garoppolo to Kyle Juszczyk takes it in right there. San Fran and KC all tied 10-10 at the half. Let's go now to the fourth quarter. Chiefs went up 24-20. They had a nice comeback to get back in it. And here's the icing on the cake. Damian Williams breaks free, 38 yards to the house. The Chiefs, it's time to celebrate. They put it away. 31-20, the final. KC's first Super Bowl win in 50 years. The first for head coach Andy Reid.
You know, we've been preaching all year, man, that to kind of take control of our moment, right? Our opportunity. I feel like we let those guys kind of, you know, get back in it, and but I was proud of our defense, the way we responded.
We have heart. I mean, that's just from day one. Coach pushes us to be the best people that we can be, and we never give up.
Patrick Mahomes, the MVP. He'll be Disney World today. Yesterday, Rockets facing Pelicans rookie sensation Zion Williamson. That's what he did to start the game. A 60-foot alley-oop from Lonzo Ball. He had a big day, but also a huge afternoon for James Harden, and it's been a while. He had 40 points, his first 40-point game in 3 weeks. He also knocked down 7 from distance. Rockets undefeated when he does that, and they win again, 117-109. 2 straight wins now without Clint Capella. He's been out with that sore heel. They will be back at it at Toyota Center tomorrow. That's it for now. Reminder to follow me on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at KPRC2 Randy McIlvoy. Have a great day. We'll see you tonight.
Thank you, Big Mac. Well, if the Chiefs didn't sleep, then neither did we. There you go.
Yeah, very true.
Right. Eric Brake, good morning.
Night.
Good morning. Yeah, trying to kind of wake up a little bit here this morning. Super Bowl was good. Halftime show was good. Kind of kept me up a little too late.
Yeah.
I did the same
like most people.
It wasn't
When
the
you have
game.
J-Lo and Shakira, I mean, come on. You can't help but stay up for that one.
Yeah, that was a good halftime
show. Well, we have dry roads, so I mean, that's going to help us out so far. National Weather Service has just issued a wind advisory. It doesn't start until 9 o'clock this morning, but you just heard that I was expecting a breezy day, so no surprise there that they're going to go ahead and issue that. It never gets old.
Do that forever.
No, I like it. Keep going with it. So that's a live look at our Kaplan Sinus Relief. I know I'll be 80 and, you know, you'll still be 65. No, because you're younger, right? So our Kaplan Sinus Relief camera, temperatures right now are generally pretty close to 60 degrees. So this is a mild start to the day. That's where our afternoon temperatures were sitting last week. It is still relatively cool, though, with that said. So for kids that are walking to school, waiting at the bus stop, I do recommend just a light sweater to get through the morning. Then in the afternoon, nice and warm. We're at 58 degrees at Bush Airport. We are in the 40s, so a little more chilly in Montgomery County, North Liberty County. Currently at the coast, we're in the low 60s, and 55 degrees currently out to the west in Columbus. This afternoon, we're all getting into the low 70s, so above average for this time of year, mostly cloudy skies, and a few stray showers are possible. The timing for that mainly between 2 p.m. and about 8 p.m. We have a 30% chance of rain, so we'll have a few widely scattered showers mixing on through. Right now, we are looking pretty good, just cloudy skies to deal with, but if we look out to the west, we see some snow moving into Utah, also a lot of moisture riding up from the Pacific. There's 2 areas of moisture that are moving in that are combining to create a weather system for Wednesday, and that cold front's going to change our weather pretty dramatically. So ahead of it, we're breezy, isolated showers, warm and muggy. That's what we're expecting for today and also tomorrow. Your rain chance at about 20 to 30%, mainly in the afternoon. There's a look at the cold front. It is arriving Wednesday during the later half of the morning. So kids getting to school, it's still going to be warm, but there's a lot of cold air. If you are traveling to North Texas on Wednesday, you have to pay attention to this weather system. They're looking at freezing rain possibilities and also snow. Will we see that in southeast Texas? Well, there's a slight chance. Look at this, 2:30 in the morning on Thursday, while most of us are sleeping, our computer models are showing a little bit of sleet trying to work its way in. This would not impact the roads. The Thursday morning commute would be just fine, but if you wake up super early, there is that slight chance that we might see something a little interesting. You can tell by sunrise, completely out of here. We're going to warm things up by the weekend, so this is a cold snap, but only lasts for a few days. We're expecting about a ½ inch to an inch of rainfall with Wednesday's cold front, so not a complete washout, and we actually need the rain in the forecast. There's a full look at that weather whiplash. Yeah, it's going to be quite an adjustment. Near record highs on Tuesday, back to the 50s on Wednesday, and then Eric, we're right back to the 70s for this weekend. Over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Seems like we haven't had too much in the way of really cold air this winter, so yeah, it might be a nice little change. Traffic this morning looking good around town. We do have an accident down in Galveston County. This is at 146 and FM 1765. All lanes, both directions on 146 closed because of this. So we're talking about right near Lamarck and the Texas City area, down close to Galveston. Elsewhere, we are looking great, accident-free in Harris County, in greater Houston in general, and the West Loop is back flowing again, which we absolutely like. This weekend was a little bit of a nightmare around the Galleria area. Katy Freeway at Blaylock looking good, and we're going to go to 225. This is at Preston, flowing nicely both directions. Traffic still very light this time of the morning, as you might expect. So our drive times in the green, 10 minutes from Pearland, 21 minutes in from Katy, and if you're taking the LaPorte Freeway, 225 in from the LaPorte area, 12 minutes into the 610 loop. Drive safely.
Thank you, Eric. Time right now is 4:52. Here's a look at what's trending on this Monday. Players and fans at the Super Bowl mourned Kobe Bryant and the 8 other victims of last week's deadly helicopter crash. The team stood on their respective 24-yard lines in tribute to Bryant's number 24 jersey for a moment of silence. The teams also honored Pro Football Hall of Famer Chris Dolman, who lost his battle with cancer last week. And everyone talking about the halftime show led by Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Shakira kicked it all off and continued with an energetic performance with a mix of English and Spanish. J-Lo kept the energy going with a surprise appearance from her 11-year-old daughter.
Don't stop, keep it moving, put your drinks up.
It's also featured a tribute to Kobe Bryant during the performance with a large cross lit up in purple and gold.
You know, we've had team coverage of the big game since last week.
We have coming up at 5, our Ari Alexander is in Florida this morning, where the Super Bowl celebrations are just wrapping up. Your morning.
We're back at 4:56. Today is National Women Physicians Day. Nearly 35% of physicians are women.
And February 3rd marks the birthday of Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell, the first woman to earn a medical degree here in the United States back in 1849. And while National Women's Physicians Day recognizes female doctors who paved the way for others, it also calls on more progress to be made. Last year, a study found that female doctors still earn 8% less than their male counterparts.
Britt is here now at 4:56.
Yes, and the National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory. So this kicks off at 9 a.m. Right now our winds are about 5 to 10 miles per hour, so nothing crazy for the morning commute. But if it is trash day in your neighborhood, maybe think about asking somebody to bring in the can after about 10 o'clock in the morning, because those winds are going to be gusty. You don't want to come home to a big old mess. We'll talk about what we're expecting for your afternoon temperatures coming up at 5.
Oh yeah, if you got heavy trash too. I mean,
seriously.
Yeah, your yard.
All the Super Bowl leftovers.
Hey, if you have sleep apnea but you're tired of dealing with the clunky CPAP machine, doctors have a new system they say it can help.
Coming up, the new cure for sleep apnea with an implant.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Today.
Well, this morning, a man accused of severely abusing his 2-year-old nephew, killing him, will appear in court. What we've learned about the child and how his uncle was apparently supposed to be caring for him.
Travel restrictions now in place across the U.S. as the country tries to stop the coronavirus from spreading. The Texas location's now on that list to help Americans who are flying in from China.
The state of Missouri is celebrating. The Kansas City Chiefs came back to beat the 49ers to win Super Bowl 54.
What's up, everybody? This is Patrick Mahomes, and we just won the Super Bowl. Kansas City, we're coming home, baby.
Well, I thought you were supposed to go to Disney.
I know, Disney first.
Whatever. You go wherever you
Orlando.
want, dude. You're the MVP. You do whatever you want. Straight ahead, more from Mahomes.
Mickey Mouse will come to him.
Yeah, right. That's how
what
big
we're
it
gonna
is. Yeah. No, sorry, dude. You still got to go meet the mouse. 5 o'clock now on a Monday, February something rather. I'm Owen Conflenti.
Good morning. I'm Tanaya Wright. Eric is in with a look at the roads. Good morning.
Good morning. Things looking pretty good around the Houston area, so no huge issues to deal with as far as traffic goes, and the West Loop is back open. So if you want to take that to where you're going this morning, you should be in good shape.
Yes.
Shout out to King Chili on Twitter. Long night, too much beer. Amen.
I think a lot of people are probably feeling the same.
Yeah.
You know, weather this morning nice and easy, so there's no issues. A good idea to grab your umbrella as you leave your door. We'll see a few showers later today, and also hold on to your hat. We're in for a windy day. Let's take you outside and show you what we're waking up to. This is our tower camera. Not too bad right now. Our wind's currently about 10 miles per hour, but we do have a wind advisory that will start in a few hours. Meanwhile, temperatures are a little chilly to the north of town. We're waking up in the upper 40s, 49 degrees in Conroe. We're close to 60 degrees here in the metro area, mid-60s right now at the coast. There's a look at those winds. Again, nothing too strong right now. They're coming in right off the Gulf, and that's going to pull in that warm and humid air. So today's going to be muggy. Temperatures getting up there. As we go into the afternoon, a few of our wind gusts could reach up to 35 miles per hour. So that's why we do have a wind advisory for the area. It does not include right around the bay, directly at the coast, and it starts at 9 a.m. and continues through 6 p.m. this evening. Eric, this afternoon temperatures will be in the low 70s. We're going to just crank up the heat just a little bit before winter comes slamming back into southeast Texas. A lot to talk about on that 10-day forecast.
All right, short sleeves to winter coats. Typical winter here in Houston. Time saver traffic now. Things looking pretty good. We do have an accident that we continue to work down in Galveston County. This is at Highway 146 and FM 1765. All lanes both direction on 146 are closed because of this particular accident. So if you live in the Lamarck area, the Texas City area, say you work around the plant, this could impact your drive to work or maybe to school. So just be aware of that. Elsewhere, good news on the West Loop. We are back open and flowing nicely in both directions up and down the West Loop. So no issues there. Drive times at this hour looking good. We are in the green. No accidents around the Houston area to speak of. So if you're heading out shortly on your way to work or school, you're in great shape. Back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Developing this morning, a man accused of abusing his 2-year-old nephew to death will be back in court today.
Authorities say the child died several days after being flown to the hospital and put on life support. Our Taisha Walker is following the story this morning. Taisha, we learned the boy's uncle was supposed to be taking care of him while his mother was in another country.
Yeah, that's correct, Owen. But first, let's get to what's happening today. We know that that man is expected to be in court later today. He's accused of abusing his 2-year-old nephew to the point that the child did not survive his injuries. Let's get to a photo of Melvin Morales Gomez. He was charged over this weekend with injury to a child. Prosecutors say the 27-year-old bit and squeezed his 2-year-old nephew, Kevin, Thursday at their Northwest Houston apartment. The toddler was left with broken bones and fractures. Kevin's brain also lacked oxygen, and they had to take him off of life support yesterday. Relatives tell us that Morales Gomez was caring for Kevin. We're told that the family all left Honduras for a better life, but the child's mother only got as far as Mexico. Now Kevin is dead, and the older brother is in CPS custody. And we know that Morales Gomez is sitting in jail on a $500,000 bond. We also know that he's expected to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. Reporting live from downtown, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Taisha. Well, we are working to get an update now on the condition of a driver accused of causing a deadly crash in Northwest Harris County. Investigators with the county's DA office says this is that man's 4th DWI. Those investigators are also saying the crash happened when Jeffrey Davis made a left on a yield signal last night at Bamel, North Houston and Champion Forest. He's then accused of slamming right into Eduardo Tobias, who had the green light, killing him. Investigators say Davis had been drinking and is now in the hospital. So the latest now on the coronavirus crisis. Travel restrictions are now in place across the country. This is all in order to stop the spread of that deadly virus.
There are 11 confirmed cases in the United States, and our health reporter Haley Hernandez is following up on the latest developments this morning. Haley, what's up?
Hey, good morning, guys. So right now, the U.S. is closed to most foreigners who have traveled to China recently. Americans who have visited the province in China where the outbreak started will face a mandatory 2-week quarantine. The State Department is working to evacuate about 1,000 Americans still in Wuhan. Any remaining flights out of China with Americans will be rerouted through selected airports with advanced screening capability. We've learned Dallas Love Field Airport is one of the 4 additional airports that will take incoming flights carrying passengers from China. We've also learned Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio will be helping American evacuees. The city says those individuals will stay on base for their quarantine period and will not pose a risk to the community. Again, we know right now there are no confirmed cases of the coronavirus here in Texas. Owen?
Haley, well, thank you so much for that update. 5:06 right now at Channel 2 News Today. And new this morning, police are trying to sort out what happened after a man with a gunshot wound was rushed to the hospital from his ex-wife's home in southwest Houston. The home's on Royal George Lane. That's in a neighborhood off Alameda Genoa. Detectives say the man's ex-wife lives there with her new husband. She reportedly told police the man showed up already wounded. Meantime, neighbors say they heard gunshots at that scene. Either way, the man's expected to survive, and so far, no charges have been filed.
Also new this morning, a man is dead after police say he slammed right into a cement barrier overnight. This all happened at Aldine Bender and Luth in North Houston. Police say that man crossed the intersection and drove right into that barrier. Investigators are still working to figure out exactly what caused this crash.
All right, 5:06 now to Decision 2020. Here we go. The Iowa caucuses are tonight. Voters finally get their say in the Democratic presidential race. The Iowa caucuses, small local meetings where neighbors and strangers stand up and caucus to show their support for a particular candidate and try to persuade others to join them. Over the weekend, the presidential hopefuls, as we call them, hustled across the state, trying to fire up voters and make a last-minute appeal to anyone struggling to make a decision.
I ask you, commit today to caucus for me.
Sometimes you may get the message that we got to choose between either a revolution or the status quo. I think there's another way.
Join us, caucus with us. We're going to do this and we're going to win.
We're going to win, and we win here. We have a path toward victory.
They can't all win, but
no.
We'll find out what happens. We'll have the results later this evening. Our Sion Rhodes, they have to be positive, right? Well, Sion Rhodes is in Iowa tracking all the action for you. So coming up at 5:30, we'll get her reports later, and as well, click to Houston.com. Okay, so let's go back to football now with the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champs, first time in 50 years.
Amazing. They came back from behind to beat the 49ers in Miami. Channel 2's Ari Alexander practically predicted that winning score. Look at this. It was actually 31.
He didn't.
20. No, it was
Aaron Boone correctly predicted the score.
Ari was kind of close. Well, he was there for the incredible game in Florida.
Good morning, guys. We are here in Miami, Hard Rock Stadium, the scene of what turned out to be a pretty amazing Super Bowl victory for the Kansas City Chiefs. They did it the same way that they've been winning many games this year. Patrick Mahomes, 5-0 when trailing by 10 or more points, 3-0 in the playoffs. Remember, of course, 24-0. The Texans led against the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs come back, win that game. 17-7. The Tennessee Titans led against the Chiefs. The Chiefs come back and win that game. And then one more time, down 20-10 to the 49ers in Super Bowl 54. The Kansas City Chiefs come back and get yet another win. This one, the most important.
It's this team. We have heart. I mean, that's just from day one. Coach pushes us to be the best people that we can be, and we never give up. And I think those guys around us, the leaders that we have on this team, they have that mindset that we never give up, and we're going to fight until the end.
And we are wrapping up what was an amazing week here in Miami. Great to hear and see from a lot of Houston Texans, a lot of people from Houston that are associated with the NFL. And at the end of the week, the Kansas City Chiefs, led by a quarterback from Texas, win the Super Bowl, taking home Super Bowl 54 and the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Reporting from Miami, Ari Alexander, KPRC, Channel 2 Sports.
Fans didn't have to wait until halftime for superstars to rock the Hard Rock Stadium. Before the game, Houston native and gospel legend Yolanda Adams performed America the Beautiful.
We're brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
We did call her a legend, right? We did, just to be sure? Yeah, because she's a living legend. Singing with her, the children's voice chorus from Miami. And then moments later, pop star Demi Lovato performed the national anthem.
And
after that, she wrote online, "This was a dream come true." Coming up at 5:30 this morning, we'll look at some of the best commercials, too, and we will check in on that halftime show featuring J-Lo and Shakira.
You may have heard a little about it. Well, history was also made on the sidelines last night. Kate Sowers, well, she became the first woman and openly gay coach at a Super Bowl. The offensive assistant coach for the 49ers was calling the shots during that game. She later wrote on Twitter, "The season didn't end up like we would have liked, but we will keep moving forward."
5:11 now, Channel 2 News Today. A traffic alert. Eric's been keeping you abreast about the West Loop at the Southwest Freeway. Closed all weekend. It's open now. So the live look, just to prove, in case you didn't believe.
No,
there it is.
It's back open.
Construction project forced it to be shut down. They're putting some of the bridges. You don't want to put a bridge over a freeway while people are driving on. That's just not a good idea.
No.
Anyway, but it is an ongoing project, so don't forget they're going to close it each and every weekend this entire month. So this is like a good practice run for you Saturday and Sunday. That's a big item there.
It's large.
Careful. Hey, with an acquittal vote all but guaranteed in President Trump's impeachment trial, House managers and the president's legal team will be back on the Senate floor today.
Still ahead at 5, NBC's Tracy Potts is breaking down what's next.
And good morning. Hope you're having a great start to your Monday. We have dry roads. Temperatures right now pretty close to 60 degrees, so a nice start to the work week. But we have a big cold front moving in on Wednesday with dramatic temperature drops. We'll take a look at that coming up. Good morning. Your time is 5:13. We are waking up to dry weather here in town. I'm seeing a few light sprinkles in Walker County right now. Shouldn't slow you down too much. Our best chance of rain is actually going to be this afternoon. Let me take you hour by hour with our Futurecast model, pausing the clock for school drop-off. I do recommend a light sweater for kids walking, waiting at the bus stop. We're going to be pretty close to 60 degrees, but it's going to be a warm afternoon. We're expecting low 70s, cloudy skies, and there's a look at those showers sneaking on through. About a 30% chance of rain, mainly between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Tanaya, I'll be right back with a look at your 10-day forecast and a big change moving in.
Big changes. Thank you, Britta. Moving on now to the Rockets, who snapped the New Orleans Pelicans' 3-game winning streak.
Rockets beat them 117-109 at Toyota Center and getting some support from none other than Deshaun Watson of our Houston Texans, sitting there courtside.
Can you sign this real quick?
Signed it for clutch. Got the crowd going. Pelicans apparently started off strong in the first quarter, although we outscored them 30-28. We got the Charlotte Hornets tomorrow.
All right, well, we are now a month out from the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
Here we go. Coming up, we're talking about the Friday concerts that were not announced. That's coming up this week. Stay tuned.
Moving toward the end of impeachment, I'm Tracy Potts. Closing arguments are happening today.
Good morning. Now to the latest on the terrorist attack in London. The suspect killed in that attack has now been identified, and according to authorities, this was not his first run-in with the law. Law enforcement authorities say Sudesh Khan was known to MI5 and had recently served time in prison for terrorism offenses. Now they say Aman wore a fake explosive device when he started stabbing people on a street in London on Sunday. He was shot by police and died on the scene. Of the 3 people injured, one of them remains in critical condition.
The public memorial outside Staples Center honoring Kobe Bryant is being dismantled. Thousands of fans have left items honoring Kobe, honoring his daughter Gianna, and the 7 others killed in the helicopter crash. According to the president of Staples Center, Kobe's wife Vanessa reached out saying that her family would like some of the items. And you can take a look here at a tribute to Kobe and Gianna over in Dubai, the Burj Khalifa, that huge building, tallest in the world, in fact, and they put a nice portrait up to recognize those two. It's 5:19. Final arguments are set today in the president's impeachment trial.
That's right. With no witnesses, he's almost sure to be cleared in that final vote on Wednesday. NBC's Tracy Potts has our preview now from Capitol Hill.
Hi, Tanaya. Good morning, everyone. With no witnesses and a majority of Republicans behind him, President Trump does not have the threat of removal from office hanging over his head when he comes to Capitol Hill tomorrow for the State of the Union.
Thank you.
President Trump tells Fox News Channel tomorrow night's State of the Union will focus on accomplishments, not impeachment.
Which was total nonsense. It was all nonsense. It should never happen to another president.
The yeas are 49. The nays are 51.
With no witnesses being heard, a first for any impeachment trial, 53 Republicans are poised to clear the president Wednesday, even though some admit Democrats did prove their case.
You now have senators on both sides of the aisle admitting the House made its case, and the only question is, should the president be removed for office?
Whether you like what the president has done or not, does it come to the point of removing a president from office? I don't believe this does.
Some moderate Republicans say even though the evidence proves that asking Ukraine to investigate his political rival was an abuse of power, it's up to the voters, not the Senate, to decide the president's fate.
It was wrong. Inappropriate was the way I'd say improper, crossing the line. And then the only question left is, who decides what to do about that?
Well, who decides what to do about that?
The people. The people.
Justice at the ballot box, not on the Senate floor. Our new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll finds that a majority of Americans do think the president is guilty of these charges, but 46% want him to lose his job over it, 49% don't. From Washington, Tracy Potts, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Tracy. The trial coverage will resume at 10 o'clock this morning. You can watch it on air and online at clicktohouston.com. All right, well, strap on your boots and saddle up. Another big announcement from the Houston Rodeo is on the way.
Yeah, so tomorrow they're going to announce the 3 Friday performers. Those were the holes in the calendar that we didn't know. There you go. Look at that. Yeah. TBA, baby.
Ready.
That announcement is coming. So 7:30, 10:30, and 1:30 tomorrow. It's going to be like a full day.
Seriously.
Yeah, you better be on the edge of your seat for that one. And by the way, you can buy tickets for those 3 shows that have not been announced Thursday morning. At 10 o'clock, they go on sale. We'll have the latest on the lineup, too, as the announcements are made. Just go to click2houston.com. By the way, there's a lot of Super Bowl stuff there on the website as well, if you want to follow up on last night.
The hip-moving, booty-shaking halftime show.
Amen.
All right, let's go to Brenna now with a check on the forecast. Nice today, but changes are coming.
Yes, big changes, and that is moving in for Wednesday. So until we get to there, pretty quiet, uneventful. This is a live look at our Kaplan Sinus Relief camera. We have cloudy skies, dry conditions over downtown. Notice that our camera moving up and down just a smudge. It's not too breezy this morning, but the wind's really going to pick up later this morning, and we do have a wind advisory that begins at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have temperatures across the area generally pretty close to 60 degrees. So for kids heading out the door, they might want a light sweater, especially north of town. 49 degrees in Conroe, 49 degrees in Cleveland. But as we go into the afternoon, that south wind is going to warm us up. We're anticipating low 70s today, a 30% chance of a late afternoon shower. So you'll see a few showers crossing through town, mainly between 2 p.m. and about 8 p.m. There's a wide look at satellite and radar. Again, very quiet right now. We'll work in a few showers later this afternoon. Just a little bit of moisture moving in from the Pacific. At the same time, look at that snow moving into Utah. That's the batch of cold air that's on the way for Wednesday. So let's play things out on our Futurecast model. Again, isolated showers possible for Monday and Tuesday, but the main event is on Wednesday. So we'll have showers for the Wednesday morning commute. A few thunderstorms are possible. The big difference with this front is the huge temperature swing. We're talking about near record-breaking highs on Tuesday ahead of the cold front, and then a blast of cold air behind it. If you are traveling to North Texas on Wednesday, make sure you watch the system closely. They're looking at freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Could we see that winter precip here in town? Well, there's a slight chance. It's a very small window. Early Thursday morning, 1 to 3 o'clock in the morning, our Futurecast model showing a little bit of sleet and possibly some wet snowflakes for our northwest and west counties. Again, that's going to be overnight It's going to be out of there by sunrise. It will not cause issues to the roads, and our Thursday morning commute looks just fine. We'll warm things up for the end of the work week, and with this cold front, maybe a ½ inch of rainfall. So, Eric, I don't think it's going to bring us the rain that we typically need, but it will bring us a change of pace with winter temperatures for Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, it looks like we're not going to get bored with the weather this week, Britta. Definitely. So umbrellas over the next couple of days, and then winter coats. Time saver traffic. Let's get a look at what's going on. Big problem on the East Loop right now. Northbound, all main lanes are closed due to an accident just before you get to I-10. So this one right near Market Street, and the backup associated with this one is beginning to grow. It happened just after 5 o'clock this morning. Hopefully they get things kind of cleared up with this one fairly quickly, because otherwise this is what it looks like. It is a parking lot headed northbound on the East Loop. The other problem we've got going on is down in Galveston County. All lanes, both directions on 146 at FM 1765 are closed right now due to an accident that they are working at this hour. Elsewhere, this is what's going on around town. No other accidents to speak of besides that East Loop and the Galveston County one. Northwest Freeway moving nicely at Gessner, and your drive times right now continue to be in the green. That's a look at your traffic. We'll keep you posted on any other hiccups this morning. Back to you.
All right. Eric Bray, thank you. It's 5:25. North Texas authorities are desperately searching for a missing 14-year-old girl. We're going to hear from her mother after she disappeared in Waxahachie.
True to Texas.
Good morning. Time right now is coming up on 5:28 on this Monday. Police in the North Texas town of Waxahachie are searching for a missing 14-year-old girl. Angelina Church was last seen on January 27th. Her parents say they last heard from their daughter when she texted them from school. Her parents believe that she was picked up by a boy that she met on Instagram.
It's a really scary, sad world out there, and for a 14-year-old that's looks like older, but yet she's still in a 14-year-old mind, you know, she may not be able to make the right decisions.
That boy told police that he dropped Church off at a Whataburger in Red Oak. Now, surveillance video shows her a short time later alone at a Walmart. Well, could the race for the White House tip tonight? Big question there. Coming up, Channel 2's Sion Rhodes is in Iowa as the state prepares to hold its caucus tonight. What the candidates are saying.
And getting a ride to the polls to vote just got easier. I'm consumer expert Amy Davis with where you can look for a free lift.
In time saver traffic, you'll save some time by not taking the East Loop northbound right now. As you're approaching I-10, this is what we're dealing with. Accident investigation has all main lanes blocked, so an alternate route around this section of freeway would definitely do you some good. We'll take a closer look at it, look at the backup, plus backups around the rest of Houston coming up in just a few minutes.
And we are waking up to dry roads, but rain is in the forecast. We'll time it out coming up.
Arts.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Today.
Developing this morning, a deadly crash in northwest Harris County now has the Harris County DA's office fired up. They say the man who's responsible now facing his 4th DWI. And that's not the only charge he's facing this morning.
Politics now, all eyes on Iowa tonight. Democrats anxiously waiting to see who voters want to face President Trump in the race for the White House. Our Sion Rhodes reports from Des Moines today.
And let the confetti fly. The Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions for the first time in 50 years.
And alive. How great is that? Hey, how about those Chiefs?
Nice job, Andy Reid.
I know. Straight ahead, we're going to hear more from both teams, and we're going to have a look at that very memorable halftime show and even the Super Bowl commercials. Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us now, 5:30 on a Monday. I'm Tanaya Wright.
How about we Confletti? Good morning. We want to get you out the door this Monday. Britta literally standing by with our forecast. How we doing?
Yeah, we're looking pretty good. So happy Monday. Temperatures right now close to 60 degrees, but we are in the upper 40s in Montgomery County and North Liberty County. So light sweater, that's all you need this morning. Our winds are coming in from the Gulf about 5-10 miles per hour, so nothing too gusty right now, but after 9 o'clock in the morning, it's going to pick up. We do have a wind advisory that starts at 9, continues through the evening commute. A few of our wind gusts could reach up above 35 miles per hour. So if it's garbage day in your neighborhood, keep that in mind. This afternoon, low 70s. Notice that we do have rain chances. We'll talk about our afternoon rain showers coming up next. Eric, over to you.
All right, Britta, thank you very much. Time saver traffic now. East Loop northbound approaching I-10. Not a good place to be at this hour. We've got an accident, rollover accident, and they're continuing to clean it up, as you can see on the inset here. But all main lanes are blocked at this particular location. So you may want to find an alternate route. Even side roads, I think, would be faster than what we're dealing with right here. It's parking lot as we take a look at Turning Basin right here. Elsewhere down in Galveston County, we can continue to watch. This accident's got both directions of 146 taken down at FM 1765. Again, this is right near the Lamarck, Texas City area, right near the plant there. So if you're using that route to get to work in the morning, you may want to look for another option. As far as your drive goes, West Loop is looking good. It's back open after a weekend closure, and your inbound drive times are all in the green. Exactly what we like to see this time in the morning. Back to you guys.
All right, Eric Bray, thank you. 5:33 developing this morning. Officials are fired up after a driver caused a deadly crash in northwest Harris County.
Yeah, they say he's now facing his 4th DWI. This crash happened just off Bammel, North Houston and Champion Forest. And that's where we find our Vincent Crivelli this morning. So Vincent, bring us up to speed on all this.
Tanaya, Owen, good morning. The trucks involved in this deadly accident have been towed away, but right now authorities are working to repair streetlight equipment which was damaged in the crash. Right now the stoplights at this intersection don't work. Investigators say the defendant was drunk, ignored a flashing yellow light, and turned left into the victim. At the scene of a deadly accident, flashing lights, twisted metal, and detectives.
We've got surveillance footage, we've got eyewitnesses.
Chief of the Harris County Vehicular Crimes Division, Sean Tier, says 57-year-old Jeffrey Davis was drunk driving north on Bammel Road while the victim, Eduardo Tobias, was driving south.
The intoxicated defendant decided to try to cut in front of that person right behind another car, and that's what happened. He got hit directly head on.
The impact caused carnage, and Tobias passed away on scene. Davis was taken to the hospital and will survive.
And this is, by what we're seeing right now, his 4th DWI.
Tier says Davis will also face a charge of felony murder, which carries a sentence of 5 to 99 years behind bars. And at last check, Davis was still in surgery at the hospital. And one last thing I want to show you guys. This appears to be part of the truck's grill involved in the accident. This is about 50 yards from that deadly crash site, which just shows you guys how vicious that impact really was. Reporting live in northwest Harris County, Vincent Crivelli, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Indeed, Vincent, thank you. 5:35 new this morning. A truck plows into a home of a Houston police officer in northeast Harris County. Check out the damage. No reports of anyone inside the home being hurt. But a white pickup truck slammed into the garage on Woodhall Lane in the middle of the night. We're told the garage was turned into a bedroom, but no one was inside there at the time. The driver is now in the hospital.
The Coast Guard is now working to clear and contain a crude oil spill right near Baytown. Authorities say that spill has now reached the shore. This happened right along Tabbs Bay, where an estimated 630 gallons spilled out from a wellhead there. Crews are using more than 700 feet of boom to try and control it. The cause of that spill still under investigation this morning.
A Houston woman charged in the kidnapping and death of an Austin mother will appear in a Travis County courtroom today. Megan Firamusca is accused of killing Heidi Broussard. Broussard and her newborn daughter went missing last month. Broussard's body was found in the trunk of a car outside Firamusca's home in northwest Harris County. The baby was found safe inside the home. In the coronavirus crisis, the U.S. is stepping up its response to the outbreak, and new travel restrictions are now in place. Under these new rules, non-U.S. citizens are barred from entering the U.S. if they visited China, if they have in the last 2 weeks. U.S. citizens who've been to China in the last 2 weeks will be rerouted to designated airports for enhanced health screenings. No Houston airports are on that list. In China, a new hospital in Wuhan opens today. They built it in less than 2 weeks. It's one of 2 new hospitals dedicated to treating people infected by coronavirus.
To Decision 2020 now. Early caucus results will be rolling in from Iowa tonight. The top Democratic presidential candidates made their final pitches to voters over the weekend.
Channel 2's Sion Rhodes reports from Des Moines.
The candidates and their supporters not slowing down in these final hours before the caucus. Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders in a statistical tie heading into the caucus. Both candidates making a final furious push for support the night before the caucuses.
Tomorrow night is the beginning. It is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump.
NBC Today Show host Savannah Guthrie caught up with Joe Biden after his rally in Des Moines.
You know, the polls have been a little all over the place, although there's no question that if you look at them, Sanders has a lot of momentum here at the end. But Biden has been a front runner here and nationally for the entirety of the race, so I think they're hoping that they can at least pull out a #1 or a #2.
And caucusing begins all across the state of Iowa at 7 o'clock tonight. I will be inside one of those precincts. I'll have all the action for you coming up. Reporting from Des Moines, Iowa, Sion Rhodes, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Sion. For the senators vying for votes in the Iowa caucuses back in Washington right now for the impeachment trial. Closing arguments from both sides will be held today. Senators will be able to speak afterwards. All of this leading up to that final vote, which is set for Wednesday, a day after President Trump is set to deliver his State of the Union address. You can watch today's proceedings right here on Channel 2. It all starts at 10 a.m. All right, it is 5:38 now. The Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions. They beat the 49ers last night, getting that historic win.
Yeah, bringing the Lombardi Trophy back to Kansas City for the first time in 50 years. Before kickoff, though, the teams honored Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the 7 others killed in the helicopter crash just last week. As for the game, the Chiefs overcame a 10-point fourth-quarter deficit with 21 unanswered points. That wasn't their first come-from-behind win this year when they needed it. 31-20 the final. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes, now the youngest player to win both MVP and a Super Bowl at the age of 24.
It's amazing. I mean, it really is amazing. I mean, just to be here, it's surreal. Finding a way to win in the end with these guys I have around me, we'll enjoy this for a long time.
Yeah, tough loss. It hurts everybody in our room, losing a Super Bowl. You know, we had an opportunity to win that, and we came up short. But win or lose, I mean, this today doesn't change how I feel about our team. I'm real proud of the guys.
Chiefs fans, of course, lost their minds when the team won. Confetti flew at watch parties. They had fireworks in Kansas City. President Trump tweeting a congratulations to the Chiefs on a great game and a fantastic comeback under immense pressure. He wrote, "We're proud of you in the great state of Missouri. You are true champions."
Well, they cost millions of dollars, and an average of 100 million people watch them live.
Ahead this morning, talking about some of the best Super Bowl commercials. 5:40 right now.
Medical services.
It's 5:42. Do you know who Charlie D'Amelio is?
No.
Oh, you're about to find out.
Like,
TikTok
no.
users, all kids know, creating hundreds of videos every day.
Coming up on the Today Show, NBC's Savannah Sellers takes you inside of the Hype House in L.A., where they live and create. Al Roker joins us now live from New York with more on what's ahead on this week on the 3rd hour of Today. Happy Monday. Did you sleep last night, Al, or were you watching the game?
I watched the game and got some sleep. It was great, you know, and did a little pole workout, you know, just to kind of feel simpatico with J-Lo, so that worked out pretty nicely. Luckily, you didn't see that. Anyway, we got a great week coming up on the 3rd hour of Today. Later this week, we're going to go behind the headline. 2 women who want to start a conversation about salaries. They want to encourage other women to share with each other what they make to help close the gender pay gap. And we're going to share some negotiating advice anybody could use. Then we've got a really important heart smarts story. A woman who survived 2 heart attacks before the age of 32 is here to sound the alarm about a rare condition and the possible warning signs. And guess what? This morning, we're going to look at a high-tech hotel that could be a glimpse into the future. And it's right there in Texas. Touchscreens everywhere, even in the shower. They control just about everything. You know you're in trouble when you've got to reboot your toilet. We're going to give you the tour coming up a little bit later this morning on the 3rd hour of Today, guys.
Hopefully I'll never have to.
At least you can reboot it.
Exactly.
Right?
At least we have the option to do that if it was, you know, a rough night.
Wow.
Well, that all sounds
wow.
great. But you're talking Curb Your Enthusiasm too, Al.
Yes, we got Cheryl Hines talking about season 10, and in fact, special for her because this year she's not just in front of the camera, she is also directing some of the episodes as well. We're going to find out about working with Larry David, and there are folks who actually think they're married in real life, and what she says to them. She'll be bringing us all that and more. It'll be pretty good. When we talk to Cheryl later, guys.
That's awesome. Looking forward to that. Thank you, Al. All right, well, this morning, here's a question. Are you more tired this morning? If so, you could be suffering from Super Bowl fever.
I got a fever. The only prescription is, well, I don't know.
There's more cowbell.
I don't know what to take. How many Americans are calling in sick today, actually? That's the thing, too. Amy, good morning.
I'm jealous. Hey, Forever 21, they might live on. I'm consumer expert Amy Davis with details of a sale that could save the struggling clothing chain.
And I'm health reporter Haley Hernandez. A cure for sleep apnea is available as an insertable device. Details are coming up after the break. Time now, 5:45.
Eyes wide open, the body's craving, so feet are hungry. 'Cause I wanna get let's get it now. Ain't nobody gotta tell you what you gotta do. No. Everybody over here.
Powerhouses Shakira and Jennifer Lopez performing their greatest hits during the halftime show at the Super Bowl. This is actually the first time two Latina women headlined. Astro's Carlos Correa calling it the best halftime show he'd ever seen. And it was this moment during Shakira, right here. You didn't see that? This is going viral. I don't know what she's doing, but people are turning it into a meme. No surprise there. We'll just keep showing it to you. JJ Watt tweeted saying, "What a legendary moment."
And they matched her up with like a llama or something in the memes on Twitter. Which I don't. It's like a turkey sound, but anyway, it's weird. But if you want to see it, it's kind of funny, and you can go online and check it out.
Enjoy.
So we're talking about Super Bowl commercials. I don't know if you got to see the Google emotional ad, but here, take a listen.
Hey Google, show me photos of me and Loretta. Remember, Loretta hated my mustache.
The ad goes on to show more memories from the widowed narrator's marriage. People took to Twitter saying, "And then Google made me cry during the Super Bowl." Thank you, Google, for that.
Wow.
But an emotional ad.
Yeah. There were also some really funny ads, too, including this one from Amazon about what life was like before Alexa.
Alexa, turn the temperature down 2 degrees. Thank you, dear.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
Jokes. God, you think I know loads? Look at me.
Next. News.
Wow, the ad went on to show how you would get your news, request a song to be played, and how to send a message all before Alexa. That's pretty awesome there.
Oh, boy. All right, sleep apnea patients now have hope of being cured of the disorder.
That's right. An implant is now helping patients across Texas. Health reporter Haley Hernandez is here now to explain all of this. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. So, yeah, the device is called Inspire. Once patients undergo an operation to insert the device, a remote then controls that device and helps them sleep without the hassle of a mask.
But my sleep study said I was stopping breathing 79 times in an hour.
Kevin Snow says wearing a CPAP mask like this for sleep apnea wasn't working for him, and complications from the disorder were frequently putting lives in danger.
You know, when you wake up and you're doing 80 miles an hour in the medium, that's scary. Right. And then I did it once with my wife in the car, and then she wouldn't let me drive anymore.
He went to see Dr. Ben Salindo from Texas Sinus and Snoring in spring, who told him about this device, Inspire. It's surgically implanted under the skin and cures 90% of people with sleep apnea, meaning they get rid of their CPAP.
It's an implanted device that we wrap around the nerve that controls your tongue, and we monitor your breathing at night, and As you breathe in, it gently lifts the tongue off the back of the throat and opens the throat naturally.
Here's how it works.
Takes their handheld device, holds it over their chest, presses a button, and they're off to sleep.
Snow says there's a lot of things marketed to help sleep apnea, but this is the one that changed his life.
Everybody wants to get in the game, but this works.
And Dr. Salento says Inspire can last for the rest of your life, but it does require a battery, and that battery will need to be changed about every decade.
Yeah, but still something new. That's pretty awesome.
Lots of hope for these patients, especially people who struggle with using
I don't
masks.
know how you can sleep with that mask.
I know
it works for some of them, but man, oh man, quite
So there's still people who this wouldn't work for that would still need the mask, but it's offering a lot of hope for people who
is good.
We know sleep apnea is a serious deal.
Always changing technology.
5:51 here at Channel 2 News Today. Let's chat with Britta about our morning weather.
Good morning. Looking pretty good this morning. This is a live look over downtown. Cloudy skies, but we are dry. Temperatures close to 60 degrees. A few upper 40s to the north of town, but starting to actually warm up. We're at 51 degrees in Conroe. Our winds are coming in off the Gulf, and that is going to continue to warm up. Our temperatures, we're going to be in the low 70s this afternoon. Isolated showers are possible, mainly between 2 p.m. and about 8 p.m. this evening, so grab your umbrella for later today. You'll be happy that you had it. We also have a wind advisory that begins at 9 a.m., lasts through 6 p.m., and our winds could be gusting up to 35 miles per hour. That is ahead of a cold front that is going to be arriving on Wednesday. So a little time to watch this. Ahead of it, it's going to be warm and breezy, a little more humid as well, and isolated showers are going to stay part of the forecast for today and also tomorrow. Wednesday is the main event. It is arriving during the morning, so for the morning commute, it's going to be warm outside with scattered showers, a few thunderstorms. The big challenge with this cold front is the cold air behind it. This is going to be a huge whiplash. We're going from near record highs on Tuesday to the 50s on Wednesday. If you're traveling to North Texas on Wednesday, be forewarned. They're talking about freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Could we see winter precip here in Southeast Texas? Well, there's a small window of opportunity. Early Thursday morning, our Futurecast model showing some wet snowflakes and sleet mixing in. Again, this is while all of us are sleeping late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. That opportunity and window completely closes well before sunrise. It is not going to cause an issue or a threat to the roads. It would just be interesting if it did end up popping up. As we go into the end of the work week, we'll slowly warm things up so that we can forecast a nice rebound. This is a short cold snap. We're anticipating a ½ an inch to a ¼ of an inch of rainfall with that cold front moving through. But look at this temperature swing. 77 degrees on Tuesday, down to the 50s with overnight lows in the 30s, and then we're right back up to springtime by Saturday.
Pretty amazing. Well, I guess that's kind of typical here in Houston this time of year, 70s to 30s. All right, as far as traffic goes this morning, East Loop, good news here. Accident approaching I-10. The rollover accident had all the main lanes closed. It has cleared. So the accident has cleared, but the backup is still kind of working its way out. If this is part of your morning drive, it's definitely going to take you a few extra minutes if you're leaving shortly, but things will be improving, which is always a good thing. Farther south, down in Galveston County, we're still looking at all lanes closed at Highway 146. This is at FM 1765. So both directions closed on Highway 146. That continues to be a problem if you live in the Lamarck or the Texas City area, and this is part of your drive to work. All right, another stop. West Loop, good news here. We've got both directions open at the Southwest Freeway from from this weekend's, I should say, tie-up and closure. North Freeway at Gulf, make a little sluggish on this Monday, but no accidents to report there. And a look quickly at what we've got going on as far as drive times go. We're still in the green, so yeah, 26 minutes in from the Woodlands, still not too bad. Back to you guys.
All right, Eric, thanks. Hey, if you use Apple Maps, get ready to see some big changes coming to your phone.
Plus, the 2020 presidential race officially gets underway with the Iowa caucus tonight, and Lyft wants to help voters to get there. Consumer expert Amy Davis is here now with your consumer headlines on
They're going to drive you all the way from here to Iowa?
Yeah, right. No, but yeah, in the primaries and the general election, so Lyft expanding its voting access program. So it will provide riders with free or discounted rides to the polls through the entire primary calendar and the general election. The company has partnered with several nonprofits that will help identify and distribute rides to those most in need. Apple's new Maps app is officially out after more than a year of development. It better be good. The company rebuilt the app by sending hundreds of planes and cars with custom sensors over 4 million miles of the country. So the app will give users more comprehensive views of roads and buildings. They say you'll be able to save locations under favorites and use interactive street views. That's That's a feature Apple dubbed Look Around. So it's also possible now to create and share lists of favorite locations. All right, if you've got a teen or tween or you're still shopping at Forever 21, this is good news. Forever 21 has reached a deal to sell off its assets for $81 million. This is 4 months after filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It would seem that they're going to still be open, the stores would. As part of this deal, the struggling fast fashion retailer would be sold to a group of mall operators, including Simon Property Group. They own Katy Mills Mall, Houston Premier Outlets, and the Galleria. So this deal still has to be approved by a judge. Other potential buyers have until February 7th by the end of this week to place bids for that company. Well, complaints and questions about car dealerships, contracts, and bait and switch deals are some of the most frequent messages I get week after week. So all this week, we're explaining what you ought to know about buying a new or used car. You get it? Auto?
Yeah, got it.
This morning, we are talking car financing and how one woman says a local dealership changed her financing loan after she left the dealership. What? She thinks so the dealer could make more money. I'm going to explain what happened and how you can make sure that this doesn't happen to you coming up in our 6 o'clock hour.
Well, it's one thing to read the fine print. It's another thing if they change it after you leave.
Exactly. I mean, we could do a month-long series on this. There are so many questions. So there's plenty of material. Hopefully, we're answering questions that'll help you whenever you go to buy a new car.
That's why most people don't like car shopping.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy. All right, well, here's Robert Arnold with a story he's working on for tonight at 6.
Just want to make sure it's safe before you be driving, all right?
Every year, tens of thousands of people are arrested for drinking and driving.
Public perception about DWI has to change.
Many are repeat offenders.
I don't ever want him to be out on the streets again, because obviously he's going to do it again.
Channel 2 investigates what police and prosecutors are doing to keep repeated drunk drivers off the road.
At the end of the day, we've got to change these people's behavior.
But what happens when people don't change? Our investigation is tonight at 6 on KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Today.
There's a new sheriff in town. I was trying to sell that line. How'd I do, okay?
Oh, you sold it.
I think we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, the general. I don't know, whatever you call it. Boy, oh boy, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl first time in 50 years.
Chiefs are Super Bowl champions here in Miami as they win it here in Super Bowl 54.
I just said that, Joe Buck. Hey, we've got more on the big win. I'm just kidding. Coming up, and how the young Texas quarterback might have called his own shot 7 years ago.
And it wouldn't be the Super Bowl without everyone's favorite commercials. This morning, we're taking a look back at some of the best and maybe some of the weirdest.
A lot of folks waking up to spring-like weather today. Hold on to your coats, though. Winter's not leaving just yet. We'll talk about it as we roll along this Monday, February 3rd. Good morning. I'm Owen Conflenti.
Good morning. I'm Tanaya Wright. Eric is in with a look at the roads. Much better than over the weekend.
Yes. The West Loop is looking just fine right now, and we're accident-free around the Houston area, which we all like to hear about. So we'll take a look at current conditions out there on area roadways, let you know what current drive times are in just a couple of seconds.
All right.
Yeah, weather looks good for right now. Big changes, though. So whether you like spring or winter, guess what? We get to have both. So everyone's going to be happy. But that transition, wow, it's going to be quite a doozy coming up for Wednesday. That's a live look over downtown. This morning, we have temperatures close to 60 degrees. Now, most of our afternoon temperatures last week were in the 50s, close to 60 degrees. So although it's a cool start, you might want a light sweater. Definitely above average for this time of year. We do have a wind advisory that starts at 9 a.m., continues through 6 p.m. A few of our wind gusts could be up to 35 miles per hour. So if it's trash day in your neighborhood, keep that in mind. It is going to be very gusty. Winds right now, though, 5 to 10 miles per hour. The key is, though, it's coming in off the Gulf. So that's actually warming up our temperatures. In fact, Montgomery County, your temperatures have increased by about 3-5 degrees in the last 2 or 3 hours. We're waking up in the 50s, low 60s. As we go into the afternoon, we'll be topping off in the low 70s. We do have a rain chance today. This afternoon, scattered showers are expected. I'll take you hour by hour with that rain chance coming up. Eric, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Time saver traffic now. We are accident-free around town, which is exactly what we like to see around Houston anyway. Down toward Galveston County, I'll show you in a second, slightly different story. East Loop, we had a rollover crash. This happened shortly after 5 o'clock in the morning. It has cleared. We still have a little bit of residual backup, so you're going to be facing some slow traffic if this is part of your morning drive. So the northbound side of the East Loop is a little sluggish because of that, but things will be improving as we head through the next several minutes. Also, we've got all main lanes blocked both directions, 146 at FM 1765 down toward Lamarck and Texas City because of an accident overnight there. And finally, the West Loop is open. So yeah, we're moving nicely on the west side of town. Current drive times continue to be in the green. 12 minutes in from Pearland. That's only a 2-minute delay. Right now, not bad. Back to you.
All right, Eric, thanks. 6:03 right now. Developing this morning, the uncle charged in the violent death of a toddler is expected back in court.
That little boy was taken off life support after suffering a number of violent injuries, including brain swelling and broken bones. Channel 2's Taisha Walker is live this morning with more on this horrific case. Taisha.
That's Naya. The man that was left to care for that 2-year-old toddler is expected to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. This morning, 27-year-old Melvin Morales Gomez will go before a judge, his second time in a matter of days. During his first court appearance, prosecutors accused Morales Gomez of biting and squeezing his nephew at their Northwest Houston apartment last week.
Those injuries included swelling to the brain, which was not receiving adequate oxygen.
After several days on life support, 2-year-old Kevin was taken off of it on Sunday. The toddler also had several fractures and broken bones. Kevin and his older brother were left in Morales Gomez's care. A relative who didn't want their face shown says the children, their mother and Morales Gomez, all traveled from their native Honduras for a better life. The children's mother made it as far as Mexico, says the relative, trusting her brother to care for her children. And since Morales Gomez is from Honduras, we know that the consulate there has been notified. We also know that he's currently on an ICE hold since he is not a U.S. citizen. Again, he's due in court today at 9 a.m. and we will be there. Reporting live from downtown, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you for that update, Taisha. New this morning, a man is now recovering in the hospital after he was shot in the chest multiple times. Now investigators are working to figure out where he was shot and who shot him. This has all been unfolding at a home on Royal George Lane and Brinslin Lane in Southwest Houston. Investigators say that home belongs to the victim's ex-wife and her new husband. They say the ex-wife told them that the man showed up to the house with those injuries, but neighbors say they heard gunshots. The man is expected to survive. As of right now, no charges have been filed.
Also developing this morning, a Houston man accused of driving drunk and killing an innocent man in a car crash. Investigators with the Harris County DA's office say this is Jeffrey Davis's 4th DWI arrest. They say the crash happened when Davis made a left on a yield signal last night at Bammel North Houston and Champion Forest and slammed into Eduardo Tovias, who had a green light. Tovias died at the scene. Investigators say Davis had been drinking and he is now in the hospital. 6:06. Kansas City Chiefs fans waking up on cloud 9 today.
Yeah, they are. The Chiefs got it done last night in a huge come-from-behind win, so you can bet these fans were living the high life last night. The huge celebration erupted in Kansas City, where fans who were not able to travel to Miami still got together for the big game. Channel 2's Ari Alexander was there and has more on the young quarterback who led the Chiefs to their first Super Bowl win in 50 years.
Hey guys, good morning from Miami. We are just outside Hard Rock Stadium where the Chiefs completed an unbelievable comeback thanks to their best quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes in his 3rd year and already looking like he has a chance to become one of the greatest of all time. Mahomes does it a lot of different ways. I know he makes these amazing plays that we see, the little sidearm throws and all that kind of stuff. But the big story with him was earlier in the game, Mahomes did not look like Mahomes. He looked like the quarterback that the Texans saw in the regular season game, the guy that wasn't running, the guy that was a bit hobbled. But then in that second half of that game, especially the last 8 minutes, the 4th quarter, 3 quick scores, Mahomes leads them back, and he looks like the guy that we saw, unfortunately, in the second Texans game, turning into one of the greatest quarterbacks and trophy #1 already on his mantle.
I believe maximizing every single day. I mean, that's the thing with me. I take it one day at a time and go out there and try to be the best person and the best athlete and the best player I can be. And, I mean, obviously, I've had a good start to my career. I mean, I've been blessed to be in a great organization with a lot of great players around me, making my job a lot easier. But I know it's going to take a long time of consistency if I want to be where I want to be at in the end. And I'm lucky enough that I have a lot of great people around me that I have a chance to go out there every single year and compete.
Kansas City Chiefs fans, of course, celebrating the win here in Miami, celebrating the win back in Kansas City. And one interesting stat I wanted to note, that 49ers defense was supposed to be terrific, but the Chiefs actually gave up less points in the regular season than the Niners did. So the KC defense, no slouch either. We're here in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. The Kansas City Chiefs are your Super Bowl champions. I'm Ari Alexander, KPRC Channel 2 Sports.
All right, Ari. So some are asking, did the Chiefs' young quarterback call his own shot 7 years ago on Twitter? He wrote, I bet it feels amazing to be the quarterback who says, I'm going to Disney World after winning the Super Bowl, hashtag QBs. Well, you should follow up and ask him. He did get his shot.
I know.
Where are you going?
Something I've wanted to say my whole life. I'm going to Disney World.
Can I go with you?
Yeah, everybody.
This was Patrick Mahomes' third year with the Chiefs. He grew up near Tyler in the town of White House. He did play for Texas Tech in college. He is the youngest Super Bowl winning quarterback of all time.
Congratulations to them. Well, and the internet's still buzzing this morning over the Super Bowl halftime show. Shakira kicked it all off with the words, Hola, Miami. Then Jennifer Lopez followed with a huge dance number and a stripper pole. Now, earlier in the night, she tweeted, let's show the world what two little Latina girls can do. Artists Bad Bunny and J Balvin also made appearances. So did Lopez's 11-year-old daughter. All right, well, one big Texas star has taken over the Big Apple.
Coming up, we'll take a look at J.J. Watt on Saturday Night Live and how that went over the weekend. Britta?
And we're off to a great start this morning. Roads are dry. We're waking up close to 60 degrees, but big changes for your work week forecast. We have a cold front on Wednesday. It's going to bring us right back down to winter. Details straight ahead.
And as far as traffic goes this morning, the East Loop is continuing to kind of realign after an accident about an hour ago. That has cleared up and things are getting back to normal. We are starting to see slow traffic in certain spots around town. We will show you exactly where coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
Of course, we can't talk about the Super Bowl without mentioning the commercials. So some this year had a political tone, others were playful and silly. Jeep did a parody of Groundhog Day, and actor Bill Murray reprised his famous role.
He got the groundhog, Bill! It's not personal. It's just a game.
FYI, Super Bowl Sunday actually fell on Groundhog Day this year. Another memorable ad was from Cheetos, and it featured MC Hammer.
I trust you. Stop. Hammer time.
They just kept going, can't touch this, can't touch this,
yeah.
can't touch this.
It's the first time in more than a decade that Cheetos made its mark during a Super Bowl. And finally, an ad that had people laughing was from Rocket Mortgage. This one features actor Jason Momoa stripping down, but it's not what you think.
Kick back and be totally comfortable in my own skin. You know what I'm saying? Rocket Mortgage understands that home is where I can be myself.
We don't want to see that. Some people online are saying this one was one of the funniest. Oh, no. Stop there. Please stop.
Crazy,
Wow. And now he's normal. I'm just kidding.
Now he's back to how he normally looks.
I forget what car commercial it was where they had the Smart Pack, the Boston accent.
Oh,
that was a good one, too.
Yeah.
That's how 90% of my family talks.
It's funny.
All from Boston. Thank you, Amy. Well, coming up, the impeachment trial nears the end of the road. What's expected today as lawmakers begin closing arguments?
Repairs.
Good morning. Time right now is 6:16. Final arguments are set for today in President Trump's impeachment trial. With no witnesses, he's almost sure to be cleared in that final vote set for Wednesday. NBC's Tracy Potts has a preview now live from Capitol Hill this morning. Tracy, good morning.
Hi, Tanaya. Good morning, everyone. Today's the day that both the president's team and Democrats wrap up their cases. Final arguments, even though the outcome seems almost certain after the Senate decided there will be no witnesses in the trial for the first time in any impeachment trial in the history of this country. They also appeared to be leaning toward supporting the president in this, with a majority of Republicans in the Senate. Democrats still plan to show up and argue their case, and in In fact, Republicans in the middle, moderate Republicans, so to speak, have argued, yes, they've already proved their case. The president did something wrong, and he's guilty of these charges. But the question has become, is it their job to remove him from office, or is it the voters' job in November? And that is the central question here. Republicans who've decided not to side with Democrats have said, look, even if he's done something wrong, it's not our job as elected officials to remove him. So we will hear the final arguments today. The president tomorrow, in the middle of the impeachment trial, it won't be over, showing up on Capitol Hill to deliver the State of the Union. Over the weekend, he did a pre-Super Bowl interview with Fox where the president said he's going to focus more on his accomplishments than impeachment. Tanaya?
All right, thank you, Tracy. And you can watch that special report right here on Channel 2 starting at 10 a.m.
6:17 at Channel 2 News Today. J.J. Watt hosted Saturday Night Live over the weekend. In case you missed it, a huge primetime debut for number 99. Here's one of the skits they had him in over some new makeup for the gridiron.
Now I can stop worrying about fine lines and focus on the offensive line.
Yeah, what's up, punk? Your skin looks amazing. With Olay Eye Black, my skin luminosity is off the charts insane. So easy to use, even guys can do it. You just grip it, and stick it.
He's in the Olay helmet. That's awesome.
Yep.
More of JJ's SNL skits are online. You can watch all of them. Click to Houston.com. We'll link you to the stuff, and you get the social media reactions, which are pretty good.
They're pretty awesome. And then those things are in a giant protein canister.
I'd wear them.
All right, well, the question is, are you feeling tired? Maybe a little cranky, under the weather? You could be suffering
what are you saying,
from,
man?
I know. Are you feeling like Owen feels right now? Because you are
good,
suffering from Super Bowl fever.
He's got coffee.
He does. Along with 14 million of your closest football fan friends, chances of calling out sick today are so high. One sports reporter even got it recognized as a National Football Hangover Day. This is the second year for this to be an official
It's not
holiday.
an official holiday.
No, because we're still here. Do we get a comp day for this?
Don't think so. Nope.
Okay.
It's going to be a hard no on that one. But you know what? It's a great Monday. We're waking up to dry roads, temperatures in the 50s and 60s. So you can kind of roll out of bed, take your time. Of course, Eric will let you know what the traffic is. That could totally change your plan. But there's a live look at the Southwest Freeway, which doesn't look too bad. Eric's going to come up in about 2 minutes, so he'll get you out the door. Temperatures right now, 50s and 60s. So this is a cool start. Your kids want a light sweater. But generally speaking, compared to last week, it's not bad. In fact, our temperatures are running above average for this time of year, and we're going to top off in the low 70s as we get into the afternoon. So although you need a light sweater this morning, this afternoon you're good to go. 20-30% of a late day shower. So between 1 p.m. and about 8 p.m., we'll have a few showers rolling through. Just have your umbrella in case you do get caught. It's going to be fairly light. We're working in a lot of moisture from the Pacific. At the same time, I have my eye on these snow showers in Utah. We have a big weather system that's slowly getting its act together, and it's going to roll through on Wednesday. So ahead of that, we're breezy. We have a wind advisory that starts at 9 a.m., continues through 6 p.m. this evening. So you'll feel that gusty south wind ahead of this cold front. As we go into Wednesday, that's when it actually arrives. Wednesday morning, a wet morning commute. Behind it, a ton of cold air. If you are traveling to Texas, North Texas on Wednesday, you want to watch this system very closely because we have sleet, freezing rain, and snow to the north of us. Will we see that here in Southeast Texas? Well, there's a small window of opportunity. Let's pause the clock at 2:30 in the morning on Thursday. So again, this is Wednesday overnight into Thursday morning. Our northwest and west counties, our computer models are showing a slight chance of some wet snowflakes or sleet. It would not accumulate. It wouldn't be an issue for the morning drive. It would just be interesting. And of course, it's happening while most of us are sleeping. But we'll continue to keep an eye on it. As we go into Thursday and Friday, we'll slowly warm things up. In our weekend forecast, we're right back to spring. So this is a cold snap, but it's only lasting 2 days. There's a full look at that 10-day forecast. Near record-breaking highs for Tuesday, followed by the 50s and overnight lows in the 30s for Thursday. Over to you.
All right, time saver traffic. Good news weather-wise, good news traffic-wise. No accidents blocking any lanes on any of the major arteries here in town. That's good news. We do have one accident that we've been watching. This happened just after 3 o'clock this morning. It is Highway 146 down in Galveston County, right in the Lamarck area, right near the BP oil refinery, just to the west of that. It's got both directions, main lanes blocked on 146 right at FM 1765. So be aware of that. Looks like that one could drag on through the brunt of the morning drive. East side of town looking pretty good, though. We had an accident on the East Loop. We have recovered from that. That happened around 5 o'clock this morning. 225 is looking good at Burrell, and I-10 at the East Loop looking very good. Traffic volume pretty light. Maybe the Super Bowl fever thing, there's actually something to it. Who knows? But your outbound drive times looking good. No delays to speak of heading out toward the Baytown, the LaPorte area so far this morning. We will let you know as things do change, but overall inbound drive times looking just as good. We are in the green in most areas. 27 minutes though into Clear Lake. Slight volume delays there, and about a 6-minute delay right now in from Pearland. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Eric. New restrictions are now in place for travelers due to the spread of the coronavirus.
Now, also some big changes coming for airlines flying in and out of China. Let's check in with Maribel live in New York.
Major U.S. airlines are canceling flights to help prevent the spread of the virus. That's live from the NASDAQ market site in Times Square.
6:24 now. This morning, tech giant Apple is taking no chances with its employees in China. Plus, major airlines continue to cut back on flights to China. Maribel Aber live at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square with us right now. Maribel, good morning.
Good morning, Owen. Major U.S. airlines are taking measures to curb the spread of the deadly coronavirus. Delta Airlines will suspend flights between China and the U.S. until at least April 30th. American Airlines will cancel all flights to mainland China starting Friday. The airline said in a statement it will make decisions about Hong Kong flights each day based on its operational situation. United Airlines announced it will suspend flights from its U.S. hub cities and Beijing, Chengdu, and Shanghai from February 6th through March 28th. There have been almost 12,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus so far. Apple is temporarily closing all of its 42 stores in China until February 9th due to the coronavirus outbreak. According to the tech giant's website, consumers in China can still visit the online website. The company said it's closely monitoring the situation. Sales in China make up about 15% of Apple's total revenue. Apple stores are usually a place for customers to touch the same electronic devices and sample them, which can further spread germs. Owen and Tanaya, you know, the coronavirus impacting everything from flights to the markets. We'll see if and how it impacts production of things that consumers buy and use.
Very interesting indeed. Yeah. Thank you, Maribel.
All right, well, the top Democrats on the campaign trail back in Washington this morning for the impeachment trial.
They'll be paying attention to Iowa, though, tonight. Coming up, NBC's Wendy Wolfrook is live there with a look at who's ahead in the caucuses.
And as far as traffic goes this morning, yeah, it is a Monday and the roads are getting more and more congested. Slow go on the way into the Shepherd Curve on the North Freeway. This is at West Road. We will let you know just how long it's going to take for you to get into town from the Woodlands, plus all the drive times from the rest of town, too, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Good morning. A live look at the Southwest Freeway from our tower camera. We are waking up to cloudy skies and temperatures close to 63 degrees. We're heading into a spring-like day, but winter is only a few days away. Big changes for your work week forecast. Details coming up.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Today.
Developing this morning, brand new details in a deadly crash that deputies say could have been prevented. How many times a driver was arrested for drinking and driving before the accident?
Coronavirus concerns continuing to spread. This morning, the change is now in effect that could help protect Americans.
All this week, we are sharing what you ought to know about buying a new or used car. This morning, we're talking financing and how to make sure you get the deal you think you're getting with your new car loan.
Very important. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us on a Monday morning, 6:30 now. I'm Tanaya Wright.
And I'm Owen Conflenti. Super Bowl fever in full effect for a lot of folks.
I know.
How are we doing
We
on the
made
road,
it.
speaking of?
Some people are actually getting up and heading out to work, so it's not a pandemic at this point. But yeah, overall, the morning drive is looking good. Maybe a little lighter than normal. Who knows? Maybe Super Bowl related. I don't know.
You're funny, Eric.
The good news is weather's on our side. So if you are getting up, getting the kids out the door, no weather issues this morning. It's nice and quiet. We have dry roads. Big changes moving in for the middle part of the work week, though. So it's definitely a work week that you want to be on top of the forecast. Here's a live look over downtown. Temperatures right now pretty close to 60 degrees. The winds are calm, but they're going to pick up later today. So we have a wind advisory that starts at 9 a.m., lasts through 6 p.m. And we could see a few wind gusts around 30 to 35 miles per hour. Coming in from the south, so that's going to continue to pull in this warm air. Right now, wind speeds 5 to 15 miles per hour. So again, it's not until later earlier on this morning that it will crank up. Our temperatures in the 50s and 60s will easily heat up to the low 70s with mostly cloudy skies. We do have a chance of rain between 1 p.m. and about 8 p.m. this evening. Widely scattered showers are expected. Your rain chance, Eric, at about 30%. That's going up for Wednesday. We'll take a look at what that cold front is going to bring to southeast Texas coming up.
All right. In the meantime, short sleeves, not a bad thing this time of year. All right. We're still dealing with an accident down in Galveston County. It's at Highway 146, right at FM 1765. Now, all the main lanes, both direction on 146 are closed because of this accident. It happened just after 3 o'clock this morning, so it's been going on for several hours and probably will continue into the morning drive. So if you're in the Lamarck area, maybe you commute into the BP plant down here in Texas City, it is going to cause some problems, it looks like, this morning, so be aware of that. Elsewhere, we are looking pretty decent. The West Loop is open for business in both directions. Southwest Freeway looking a little sluggish as you head toward the 610 loop, but overall not too bad. North Freeway at West Road is moving along. Traffic beginning to pick up a little bit, but overall your drive time still looking pretty good. We are in the green in most places, coming in from Clear Lake and Pearland. Those slight delays, although not too bad. They stand between 5 and 10 minutes just due to volume. Back to you.
All right, Eric, 6:32 now. Developing this morning, deputies are investigating after a deadly crash they say could have been prevented.
Now a driver is facing not just a DWI charge, but also felony murder. Channel 2's Vincent Crivelli is now tracking this story for us this morning. So Vincent, can you explain this situation?
Tanaya, investigators say this is the suspect's 4th DWI. Now, the accident has cleared, but the deadly crash damaged streetlight equipment here, so right now the stoplights aren't working. Crunched metal and shattered glass, the scene of a horrifying two-truck crash that did not have to happen. Investigators say 57-year-old Jeffrey Davis caused the deadly accident and was drunk.
What we have here is somebody who has been convicted 3 times before of DWI, continues to do it, and this is always the final outcome.
Authorities say Eduardo Tobias was driving south on Bammel Road when Davis, who was driving north, ignored a flashing yellow yield light and crashed into Tobias.
We now have a death as a result.
Tobias passed away on scene. Detectives say Davis will be charged with his 4th DWI and more.
In this case specifically, I've accepted a felony murder charge.
The DA's office is looking to prosecute anyone who overserved Davis.
We're all tired of being out here and dealing with these kind of things. So every person that helped get this individual this intoxicated is going to face charges.
And a felony murder charge carries a sentence of 5 years to life behind bars. And at last check, Davis was in surgery at the hospital. He is expected to survive. Reporting live in Northwest Harris County, Vincent Crivelli, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Vincent. Houston police are now trying to figure out if alcohol played a role in another deadly crash. This one happened in North Houston. Investigators say a man was right on Spence Road when he crossed the Aldine Bender intersection and then crashed right into a cement barrier. This all happened just before 1 o'clock this morning. Detectives are also looking into whether that man was simply distracted. That man died at the scene. No one else was injured.
Well, new this morning, a truck plowed into the home of a Houston police officer. Luckily, no one was hurt. This happened at Woodhall Lane and Forest Point Drive in northeast Harris County. Deputies say a white pickup truck drove into a parked vehicle and then continued on and hit the house. It was actually hit the garage, which had been turned into a bedroom. But luckily, no one was in there at the time of the accident. Police are working to determine if alcohol played a role in the crash. As Eric mentioned about 5 minutes ago, the West Loop at the Southwest Freeway is back open for now. Don't forget, though, closures continue during the weekends of this month. Crews were hanging the new bridge beams over the weekend, so they'll be shutting it down again Friday night through Monday. And as I said, that'll go weekends through February.
6:35 now on this Monday morning. The woman charged in the kidnapping and murder of an Austin mother found dead in Houston is expected in court today. Megan Faramuska is now charged with capital murder. Heidi Broussard was found dead in a vehicle here in Houston. Her newborn was found alive, reportedly inside of Firamuska's home.
Members of the Texas legislature getting involved in a hairstyle battle involving a Barbers Hill high school student. State Rep Ron Reynolds is working to introduce a new bill that, if passed, would prevent school districts from creating policies that discriminate against a student's natural hair. This comes after high school senior DeAndre Arnold was told he could not walk the stage for graduation unless he cut his dreadlocks. His family says his dreadlocks are part of their Trinidadian culture. At 6:36 this morning, coronavirus concerns continue to spread. In Texas, still, so far, no confirmed cases.
The number of confirmed infections did rise in the U.S. over the weekend, however. Health reporter Haley Hernandez is here with more on the coronavirus today. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. So the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in the United States has risen to 11. Most recently, a husband and wife in California were found to have the virus. Travel restrictions also went into effect yesterday. U.S. citizens entering the United States will be quarantined for 2 weeks if they've been to the province in China where the outbreak is. And all foreign nationals who have been to China in the last 14 days are barred from entering the United States. China reacted swiftly, saying the decision was not a gesture of goodwill and accused the move of not being based in facts. Federal officials say they're taking no chances. In China, the situation is continuing to get worse. A brand new hospital has opened in Wuhan about 2 weeks since construction began, but the death toll there is continuing to rise, now reaching 362 people, including one person in the Philippines. Globally, there are more than 17,000 infections, a large number of those in China. 60 million people remain locked down in China in an attempt to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Now, there could be good news on the horizon, however. Doctors in Thailand say they've made progress combating the coronavirus. They say through a mixture of already developed flu and HIV treatments, they've seen positive results in patients. Chinese officials are also using the same mixture for treatments. We are expected to learn more from today from Thailand, who says they've treated a 70-year-old woman with the virus.
Wow, thank you, Haley. Just continues to spread and grow, and more research being done on this.
Yeah, there'll be lots more updates throughout the week.
All right, thank you for that. All right, well, Decision 2020 officially kicks off today.
Yeah, what we can expect from the Iowa caucuses later on. We'll get a live report for you straight ahead.
Good morning. The 2020 presidential election officially begins tonight.
The still crowded Democratic field has been crisscrossing Iowa in anticipation of the first in the nation caucuses. NBC's Wendy Woolfolk live in Des Moines for us this morning, where the countdown is on. Good morning.
Good morning, Owen and Tanaya. All eyes on Iowa with those 7 candidates who want to take on President Trump in November. After all of the handshaking and door knocking and speeches, it's time to hear from the voters in the Hawkeye State. They take their caucuses here very seriously. It's a unique process compared to primaries run by other states. Starting at 7 o'clock tonight, voters will show up to their precinct and physically group themselves with the candidate they support. If the candidate of choice doesn't get the 15% of caucus crowds, that candidate will be considered not viable, and voters can realign themselves one time. We've met several people who have brought their kids from other states just to observe the caucus process here. As you said, it's a very tight race, especially at the top of this Democratic field. We do have latest poll numbers showing Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, and Elizabeth Warren all kind of vying for that top spot. The party, though, is expecting a record turnout across the state tonight. That's the latest here live in Des Moines. I'm Wendy Woolfolk. Back to you in Houston.
All right. Thank you, Wendy. Looking forward to that tonight. All right. 6:42 now on a Monday.
You ready for Decision 2020? If you're not registered to vote, this is the last day to do that. You can print out a voter registration packet from the state's website and then take that by the registrar's office or mail it out today so you can go and vote when the time comes.
All right. time right now, 6:42. Let's go to Britta now with a check on the forecast.
It's not bad this morning. We have dry roads, but this work week we are in for huge temperature swings. So we're going to go from spring to winter, right back up to spring. So I hope you guys are ready for that roller coaster ride. Meanwhile, it's a live look over downtown. We have a little bit of cloud cover out there. Temperatures about 60 degrees, so it's a cool start. You might want a light sweater, but definitely not as chilly as what we had last week. We have a wind advisory that starts at 9 a.m. So right now our winds are fairly calm, but later this morning it's going to crank up. A few of our wind gusts ranging between 30 and 35 miles per hour. Because they're coming from the south, that is pumping in some relatively warm air. So although it's cool around 60 degrees, this is above average for this time of year. And we're going to top off in the low 70s this afternoon. Between 2 p.m. and about 8 p.m. this evening, widely scattered showers are expected. So grab your umbrella just in case you get caught. It is going to be fairly light, but they'll be out there for after school pickup and if you have any plans for dinner. Meanwhile, this is a live look at radar and also satellite. A few light sprinklers in Walker County. It's not going to slow down too much, and the best chance of rain is going to be later today. Meanwhile, looking out to the west, we have snow in Utah. You can see those showers moving in from the Pacific. We have a lot that's starting to brew, and that is really going to combine and create a larger issue for Wednesday. So ahead of it, we're warm and breezy, isolated showers, pretty easy for today and tomorrow. I want to pause the clock for Wednesday morning, though. That's when the cold front arrives. Wednesday morning's commute is going to be wet, but the big difference with this cold front is the temperature drop. Behind it, very cold air. If you're traveling to North Texas on Wednesday, you have to really watch this system. They're expecting snow, sleet, freezing rain. The whole kit and caboodle is going to be happening in North Texas, and that's going to cause some travel issues. Could we see wintry precip here in town? Well, there's a slight opportunity. Late Wednesday night into Thursday morning, this is 2 a.m. on Thursday, our west and northwest counties, the computer models are picking up on wet snowflakes and possibly some sleet. If it does occur, it's not going to cause issues on the roads, and that window is really short. It ends by about 5 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, so the Thursday morning commute is just fine, but that temperature drop is really going to make you take notice. It's a cold snap that only lasts a couple days. We're going to warm things up by the time we get to the weekend, so this is how it's going to play out. Low 70s for today, near record-breaking highs for tomorrow. The cold front arrives in the morning on Wednesday, and it slams us back to the 50s. Overnight lows in the 30s for Thursday and Friday, and then, Eric, before we know it, we're right back to spring for Saturday and Sunday.
All right, thanks for the forecast, Britta. Time saver traffic now. Weather's looking good, so no problems from that standpoint. Roads are dry, visibility good, but we've got a couple of accidents that we're dealing with. One on the North Freeway. This is inbound right at Aldine Bender, so just past the Beltway. But the backup is beginning to build. So if you're coming in from the Woodlands, the Spring area, give yourselves extra time because this is what it looks like. This is at Greens Road, approaching the North Beltway. Yeah, kind of a slow go of it. We'll take a look at your drive time here in just 1 second. Another issue, Highway 288 at Airport, a two-car stall just on the shoulder of the road at Airport. So it's not affecting main lanes, but anything that happens on 288 with all things construction tends to slow things down. So your overall drive times right now looking like this. Still not a huge problem in from the Woodlands, but until that accident gets cleared, this will begin to grow. You may want to get out the door slightly earlier than usual coming in from the north side because of that. 21-minute ride in from Pearland. That's an 11-minute delay. We're looking at slight delays from Kingwood, Baytown, Clear Lake, and Sugar Land as well. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Eric. Big night for the Kansas City Chiefs. They are Super Bowl 54 champions. In the end, they beat the San Francisco 49ers 31-20. The first Super Bowl win for the Chiefs in 50 years. And while social media has been pretty busy celebrating the Chiefs' win, one of the halftime performers has been causing quite the buzz. J-Lo and Shakira both took the stage last night and put on quite the show, but it's been a move from Shakira getting the most attention this morning. No, it did not involve her hips. Actually, it was her tongue. All right there, that went pretty viral online. A lot of people kind of confused. You could hear it, confused by what exactly she was doing. But some Twitter users managed to give a possible explanation for this. Fans say the singer, whose father is of Lebanese descent, appeared to be performing a traditional Arab vocal expression called a zaharuda. According to one user, it is Arabic tradition to express joy, excitement, and celebration. So We will see.
Feeling all those things yesterday.
I know, I'm sure. Yeah, sure she was. All this week, wow, we are filling you in on what you ought to know about buying a car, whether it's new or used.
Yeah, this morning we're tackling financing. A Houston woman claims the dealership switched her lender without telling her. Amy Davis is here to give us the information so it doesn't happen to you.
Exactly. So this woman thought she had done everything right. Jenny Williams said she got pre-approved for an auto loan with her credit union, but she says the dealership signed her up with a completely different lender.
Really, my car is my office. I drive like 3,000 miles, a month.
So when it was time for a new vehicle, Jenny Williams picked this 2019 Toyota 4Runner at Joe Myers Toyota in early November. Before she went to the dealership, she went to her credit union to get pre-approved for a loan.
The approval letter shows that, what your interest rate is going to be, what your payments are going to be. Literally everything is lined out for you so that the dealership can match those numbers on the paperwork that you sign.
Or so she thought. Less than a month after she drove it off the lot, she was rear-ended on the Beltway. While sorting out that mess, she got a call from Capital One letting her know she was late on her first payment.
And I was like, no, that couldn't be possible. I didn't sign any paperwork that had Capital One on it.
When she checked the only contract she says Joe Myers gave her the day she purchased the SUV, she discovered the lien holder portion was blank.
Don't sign anything that has blanks in it.
Christine Graham with the Office of the Consumer Credit Commissioner says you should also get a copy of every document you sign before you leave the dealership.
If you sign something with blanks, it could be filled in later, and, we wouldn't want that to happen.
Joe Myers provided Jenny's attorney with other signed documents that do list Capital One as the lender, but there's no way to know when that information was added.
You think you know why they switched the lender?
They wanted to make an extra buck because they were going to get a higher incentive. There's no other reason that I can think of on why they would do that.
Car dealers get paid by lender partners for pushing new customers their way. We know Capital One is a lender partner of Joe Myers, but no one at the dealership would talk with us except to say they made an offer to resolve this issue with Jenny. Jenny says the deal would have Joe Myers take back the 4Runner once repaired and pay off her loan if she agrees to buy and finance a more expensive 2020 4Runner with them. She wants to unwind the deal completely so she can take her business somewhere else.
Start over, help me start over, take this off of, help me take this off of my credit.
All right, so the Office of the Consumer Credit Commissioner is investigating Jenny's case. And investigators say if you want to get financed through a bank or a credit union, do all of the paperwork with the lender giving you the loan. Then you just take your money to the dealer and pay for the vehicle outright. Now, if you're financing with the dealership, again, don't sign anything that has blanks on it. Get a copy of everything you signed before you leave so you don't get taken for a ride.
Wow.
Yeah, so every day this week we're going to have new information that can kind of help you, and you can keep these stories as sort of a checklist before you go shopping.
Seriously, good things you definitely need to know and look out for if you're going for a car. Wow.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. All right, coming up, final check of traffic and weather this Monday morning. It's 10 minutes to 7. 6:53 here at Channel 2. Breaking news from California. In Grapevine, northwest of Los Angeles, police say at least 6 people have been shot on a Greyhound bus. That's all the information we've got at this point. We'll keep you updated.
Developing this morning, the uncle charged in his 2-year-old nephew's violent death will be back in court today.
Let's get more from Channel 2's Taisha Walker, who's live in downtown Houston.
And the man accused of abusing his 2-year-old nephew to the point that led up to his death is due in court this morning at 9 o'clock. Melvin Morales Gomez was charged over the weekend with injury to a child. The 27-year-old is accused of biting and squeezing his 2-year-old nephew Kevin last week at their Northwest Houston apartment. The toddler was taken off of life support yesterday. Relatives tell us that Morales Gomez was caring for Kevin because relatives say they all left Honduras for a better life, but Kevin's mother only made it to Mexico. We know that Morales Gomez is due in court at 9 a.m. We will be there and bring you updates throughout the day. Reporting live from downtown, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Taisha. A look at some of our other top stories this morning. A Houston man accused of driving drunk in a deadly crash now facing his 4th DWI charge. The scene has cleared at Bamel North Houston and Champion Forest, but the stoplights still not working right now. The Harris County DA says the 57-year-old Jeffrey Davis slammed into Eduardo Tavares' vehicle. Tavares died at the scene. Davis still in the hospital.
The Coast Guard is working to clean up a crude oil spill near Baytown. It happened along Tabbs Bay. 630 gallons roughly of crude oil spilled from a wellhead. The oil did reach the shore. It's not clear at this point what caused the spill.
Closing arguments will be held today in President Trump's impeachment trial. Senators will be able to speak afterwards. All of this leading up to a final vote set for Wednesday, a day after President Trump is due to deliver his State of the Union address. You can watch today's proceedings right here on Channel 2 starting at 10. Well, the Today Show is coming up next.
Yeah, Hoda did not catch Super Bowl fever. She's at work.
We're all here.
Barely. We dragged it in. Good morning, you guys. Coming up on today, of course, we are going to have the highlights from Super Bowl 54. What a thrilling win for the Chiefs in the fourth quarter. Plus, a lot of people are reacting to the big games commercial, and we're all, of course, talking about that high-energy halftime show with J-Lo. Her daughter, Emmy, joined on stage, and Shakira, it was one for the books. Also ahead, Savannah will be live in Iowa with complete coverage of today's caucuses, the first test in the presidential race. She'll have the mood of voters. She also has an interesting interview with Joe Biden this morning, how the former vice president is feeling about his place in the race that is now too close to call. All that, plus an exclusive look inside the mansion where TikTok stars create those videos that your kids are watching. It's a biggie when we see you guys in just a little bit right here on Today.
Our kids at Owen creating.
I'm telling you, don't get TikTok famous until you have Charlie D'Amelio in a video. Hoda will see you very soon. 6:56.
Right, see ya.
And here's Eric.
All right, time saver traffic. One major accident going on right now. If you live on the north side, maybe the Woodlands, Spring, you take the North Freeway into town. We've got an accident near the Beltway that is blocking left lanes. HOV lane getting through. Hardy Toll Road may be a good alternate route for you here, but the backup is beginning to grow. We take a look at the North Freeway at Rankin Road, the inbound side of things, very, very sluggish, heading southbound. So be aware of that. Also in Galveston County, we've been watching this all morning. 146 at FM 1765. We've got the all lanes blocked, both directions on 146 with this particular accident. Let's take a look at your current drive times. Most areas looking absolutely fine. We don't have any other big accidents to speak of, so main lanes on all major arteries, with the exception of that North Freeway problem, are open for business. 35 minutes in from Kingwood, 32 from Katy, 31 Sugarland, and 23 minutes in from Pearland. Typical delays due to high volume out there. Drive safely and get to your destination on time this morning. Back to you.
And we are waking up dry with temperatures close to 60 degrees. It's going to be a warm one out there. We will top off in the low 70s today. Grab your umbrella. We'll have a few showers between 2 p.m. and about 8 p.m. this evening with a 30% chance of you getting caught by one of those. So just have your umbrella with you so you are prepared. Meanwhile, we have a wind advisory that kicks off in a couple hours. Gusty winds up to 35 miles per hour. So if it's garbage day in your neighborhood, be kind to your neighbor. Here's a full look at that 10-day forecast. We have winter weather coming back before we know it, so don't lose your coats. You're going to need them at the end of the work week.
We've got carrot cake day. Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
That sounds like breakfast.
Use that for your Super Bowl hangover.